Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Jackie Glass, Mama, Navy vet, certified doer, and the laced up legislator for the House of Delegates 93rd District. How y'all doing? I am dressed. This is probably not normal for everybody here today. I am uh, on my way to Richmond as soon as I get off of our live this morning. I got to head up to the Capitol to get this VMABS DEP, the veteran bills stuff. We gotta take it, bring it home, get it done, be done, and all that good stuff. What I did want to do this morning for sure is make sure that I tell you what we got coming up that I'm super excited. Tell y'all been missing out. If you didn't go to our live policy roundtable this past Tuesday, you missed out. A great conversation with some really amazing people and their lived experience. So happy to have them. Good morning, Miss Charlene. So let me do this, right? So my name today is Linktree /Jackie, Linktree with a dot between the EE and the T, because that's where you all can go to get all the information about the things that we have going on. I need you to know, okay, next Saturday, if you are one of those people that are new to the world of certified doers, like, and I'm becoming a doer that delegates, right? Like, I can't do it all, but I can do and delegate at the same time. And you're like, Jackie, I don't even understand what your world is like, what y'all do up there in Richmond, what the laws and stuff look like. How do I advocate for my thing? How do I, like, if you just have questions about what we do over here and what we do in Richmond and how policy and stuff works, Saturday, July 27th at 10 a.m. at Gethsemane Community Fellowship, we are going to have our summer school for certified doers, right? Like, if you're trying to get on that track, then come on, join us on Saturday. It's scrolling across the screen. It's in Norfolk, right there on Brambleton. What we'll do is it'll be a 3-hour course at about 3 hours of just like, it's intense. Okay. I teach the class myself, right? I'm taking you to school myself. So like, good morning, Marky. So we are going to, that's an opportunity on Saturday. Now, I have to change everything because we did have to get our venue switched up. It did say the pitch contest is going to start at 2. We're going to have the pitch contest start at 1 p.m. So like, say you're a doer and you already been in this process, like, you know what's up. You've been to council, you've been to a school where you've been, or even you're just like, I know how to get what I want. Okay. And I got something that I want y'all to do, a program, a policy, whatever it is. We have a policy pull up and pitch contest that's going to happen at 1 p.m. Again, same place, same venue. So some of those people are going to come straight out of summer school and be like, I got something I want to pitch. Some of y'all are going to be like, nah, just be there at 1 and I'll get my pitch and I'll start pitching. Then it's your opportunity. It's like the Shark Tank version of getting policy. And this is the perfect time because for me as a legislator, I am just now starting to put together and have meetings about what I'm going to do in 2025. And so like, this is like spot on time. If you got questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to my office. Contact information is scrolling across the screen, but like, it's us. I want to see you there. And it is all ages. Okay. I've done this summer school for certified doers for middle schoolers, for elementary schoolers, and for grown folks. And you'll be, well, I don't know if you'll be surprised, but I'm not surprised that you get the same kinds of questions. It's like, oh my God, I didn't know that it's that easy. I remember this kid, actually his name was Seth, at one of the programs that we did, a summer program that was actually happening at Gethsemane. He was like, Miss Jackie, is it that easy? And I was like, well, I wouldn't say easy, right? Like, I never want to use the word easy but it is it is understandable. That what we do is understandable, and it's a hack. It's a way to hack it. So I want to see you there, July 27th. Bring your kids, bring your cousins, bring your policy, and come to school with us. Do a pitch with us, and there'll be other legislators there. Right now, I think we have Senator Graves confirmed as one of the policymakers that you can pitch to. So it's going to be Shark Tank. Come on. Next, so we've got another policy roundtable coming up next month. I believe we're doing it on AI. So be on the lookout for that. If you're on social, then you should be seeing the advertisement for the policy roundtables. It's getting good, y'all. It's getting real good. And then on August 10th, August 10th at Northside Park, August 10th at Northside Park, we have Certified Doer Field Day. That's just a fun day. We just want to kick it with y'all. We just want to hang out. We don't do all the things. And can I tell y'all, better stand by? There's going to be another Kicks and Cocktails pop up happening like real soon. So be on the lookout at our Instagram because I'm going to put it out last minute. It's a Kicks and Cocktail pop up. Pull up in your kicks. My friend came in her heels and she was like, can I come in with my heels on? I said, are they your kicks? Yes. Like, of course it's an homage to the sneaker, but like you do our world, we trying to just have you be the best version of yourself, right? That's all we want. That's all that we want for you. But in light of what's happening today, so we will probably this today for me going to Richmond will probably be, I'm going to say fingers crossed that I won't have to go back for any policy until January. I can't say that with 100%. I don't know how we're going to adjourn. When I say I don't know how we're going to adjourn, how we're going to leave. Are we going to leave out of special session? Are we going to leave still in special session? So for an FYI, for those you might know, is that our regular session only lasts somewhere between 75 and, excuse me, somewhere between 45 and 60 days, depending on the year. So this is an even year. We do a full budget. It was 60 days this year. But we had some things that we had to come back and finish. After we did our budget, there was a kerfuffle. Is that the right word? That happened with policy. And so we're fixing it. So we have been called into a special session, and that's what we've been doing, going back and forth. Is this usual? Not really. It's not usual for me to have to be going back and forth to special session. Unfortunately, though, it is kind of usual for me since I've been in General Assembly. I think the first year we came back because we didn't get an agreement on a budget. I believe the second year, same thing. We didn't finish the budget. And this year we actually were done until we went back for reconvene to go through all the governor's changes. And that's when we sort of had the problem with what was in the budget and had to start doing the special session. So it's not usual to have to spend our summers going back and forth to Richmond. And my fingers crossed that this is it for us. I love it. If you guys are on here, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, any events coming up or anything, this is your this is your time. I'd love to spend it talking about, no, I don't. I don't love to spend it talking about whatever is on my brain. I kind of want to answer your questions and make sure that I'm getting in the know about what you all have going on. So something as I wait for you all to come in and say your piece and stuff, I recognize that this past week has been really trying for folks. Good morning, Lamont. I recognize that it's been really trying. And let me say that from a place of this election cycle is one of the most troubling that I think I've had to deal with in my time since I started voting. And to be clear and fair, it's like I, at the age of 18, joined the military straight away and spent 11 years in the United States Navy as a cryptologist. And during that time that I was in the military, I can only really remember voting once. And I think that was because I was home on leave. And it just happened to be election time, and it was a local election, and my mom was like, you need to get up there and vote. I went up to the municipal building, voted, didn't know who or what I didn't know who or what I was voting for. So the exercise of voting for me did not start until I was, I want to say in my 30s, thereabouts, because when I got out, I think it was about 28. And then, or 28 or 29, and I did not settle in Virginia or settle in Norfolk until, I didn't settle in Norfolk until, 2016. And 2016, y'all also know, was like a real kind of trying year as well. I remember my son the day after the presidential election in 2016, and we were living in the Ocean View area, and he cried. He was like in fourth or fifth grade, and he was just bawling his eyes out the morning he woke up. And I knew we were getting ready to move to where I now live, in the Valentine Place area. And I was like, "Why are you crying?" He's like, "Because they're going to take all my friends." So the area that we lived in Ocean View had a very large Hispanic population. Actually, I coached Little League with my, uh, sat on the Ocean View Little League board, executive board, and helped manage a team with my husband and stuff over Ocean View. And a lot of our kids, English was their first language, was their, second language, and it was their parents not, their parents didn't speak it at all. And so there was a sentiment for him at the age of excuse me, while he was in fourth grade, I can't think of the age, that elections had consequences and that they could extract. Now let's fast forward, y'all, to 2024, where we are, and this is the first year that my son will be able to vote. Right, he'll turn 18 in September. And I think about, I personally have been having, and I don't know if you all have been having a lot of conversations with the people around you, but I've been talking to a lot of young people about, especially ones that are first time voters, about what they're seeing, what they're feeling, what their thoughts are. And let me say this, it can be difficult to have conversations with them, because I keep my ears open. I'm saying that to y'all. Like, we gotta actually listen to folk, and like, they're real. And remember, these first time voters were in elementary school, the first time around this sort of I- or chaos, because I can only read it as that way for them. Chaos for me, but I think it's a sense of calm and usual for them. And when we talked about, I talked to some young folk, and they were like, either they were going to sit this election out, or that they were looking for options outside of the two candidates in front of them. And I just think that's tough. That's tough, because I think all of us know that they will not. And I'd love to hear y'all opinions. That I don't feel like we can be credible messengers if we're not taking care of them at the local level. Does that make sense? Like, it is very hard to have a conversation with them about what they should do on things that on the at the federal space, when they can come back at me and say, "Well, like, what about what happened? So, like, why you didn't show up when stuff was popping off in my neighborhood? Why you didn't show up and talk about, like, who can help when stuff was popping off at my school?" So I just want to center us too and say is that we build credibility with the next generation of voters. We do us when we engaged on what's happening locally. Even though I'm a state level legislator, I'm somebody's constituent on the local level. That makes sense. Like, I'm somebody's constituent, just like you are, just like my son, just like my family, just like my neighbors. Like, we all sit there in that way. We're somebody's constituent. We've asked someone to represent us on some level of government. We don't, none of us get out of that. But what I learned in listening to some of the first time voters that are coming up is, um, I don't know what y'all station is in life. I don't know how old you are, how long you've been doing this or whatever, but there is a level of unearned confidence about what it means to be an adult, and um, how what is happening at the national level will affect us as adults in our daily lives, because they haven't had to adult yet. And I hope I said that right. That they haven't. Yes, there's a huge confidence about how things work as they step into this new adulthood. Very much so confidence, and it's a challenge, because I'm saying, I hear what you're saying, um, but I also know, and I don't know how you all are voting. I don't expect you to tell me how you're voting, but I also know that there. their view, their worldview is very different from the one that I grew up with because of the sheer amount of chaos that they formed in, right? The 2016 election, January, um, January 6th, COVID, like all these things form them, the kinds of voters that they are. So I'm asking, like, for us as we work at being better adults, and that we build our empathy muscle for the way in which they are seeing the world. When 9/11 happened for me, I was a senior in high school, right? So like I was seeing that from the lens, okay, like there it popped off in my adult life. And I'd like to think that from those years prior to 2001, there was not as much chaos in school. I remember Columbine, right? And how much that was anomaly, how much that was like, that was just like, dang, that happened to them folks over there, and that's what they do, right? Like that was, that honestly, that was the sentiment, and they're living with this, and now they're going to be voting with this high level of public trauma. And so I'm appealing to you all that as you like talk to young people in your sphere of influence, as we cycle ourselves to this election cycle, to tell them don't give up on the process. Um, don't give up on the process of the act of the exercising of voting. The way that I see it, right? The way that I see it, and the way that I'm looking at how I'm going to make my decision is what I know for me as a legislator. You all see me, and some people be like, "Dang, she got it together," or you might think I'm a hot mess. Like it's totally whatever your thought process is. Um, but for the most part, people think, Jackie, she has it all together. That is patently false. I do not have it all together. I do not have all the answers. Some of the most brilliant things that I hear myself say come out of my mouth have come from having a really solid team, right? This year I've probably done a lot more fundraising than I've done in any other years because I did hire more people. And that's why, again, don't forget, we're going to have a pull up. We're going to have a Kicks and Cocktail. That's another fundraiser because I'm trying to keep my staff, because it is my team. It's the team that I show up with that allows me to be a better representative for you all. I know that the president doesn't run the country, essentially. This is why he or she has a cabinet, right? This is why that position has a cabinet of secretariats who then have their people, who then control all of the people that come in down there. And so, like, I have, in the conversations that I've been having with young people, it's like, look, I am voting for the best team. While LeBron is an amazing basketball player and has went to 3 separate teams and got a ring, he still did not take that court by himself. So who are going to be the great supporting cast members that allow it to not be 5-on-1? And does that team's mission, whatever it may be, align what I think my values are? That's real. So I'm encouraging everyone to, at a very minimum, if you have young people, whether it's baby cousins or nieces, nephews, sons, daughters, grandparents, to like listen to what they're saying about what's going on. It's been extremely insightful for me, and also hurtful uh, for what they're holding coming into adulthood. And again, I think we have a responsibility to just be better adults. I want to be a better adult than what was given to me. And if you grew up in the time that I grew up in, it was children are to be seen and not heard. Do as I say, not as I do. And I'm trying to, while still providing the fact that there is a level of respect that comes here, there is a for a respect of experience, right? I've been 18 before. You ain't been 40 before. So the fact that there's a healthy level of respect for the experience that we respectively bring to the table, we are able to heighten our conversations when it comes to making a collective decision about what happens to this country that we live in. And that's hard. That's hard right now with that assassination attempt on this week. There's a lot of, I think, trauma with that for Gen X. I was talking to a friend of mine that was a Gen X, and I was like, I remember what happened with Reagan. And if you're, I don't want to say a military person or military affiliated, but that does set, I'm sitting uneasy about what could happen to us, while still saying to you all that what's going to be even more important, like what's going to be so important, not only is this 2024 election going to be super important, but what happens is what happens in between. Next year, I'm up for reelection, which means our entire state house is up for reelection, right? And so, um, and also our governor will be up for election. We never really have a reelection, but like, yeah, that for governor, but we'll be getting another governor, and that, um, while at the executive level there is, we can see it because it's what's on TV. It still trickles down to, we also have a school board election happening right now. We also have a super ward, a council election, and a mayor election. Your immediate quality of life is being affected by people that we don't necessarily rise. We don't rise that issue to the top because it's so chaotic above us. And then what happens is, guess who gives your local election their authority? Your state government. We live in a Dillon rule state whereby your whatever city you live in the Commonwealth of Virginia cannot do just what they want to do carte blanche, because they have to get their power from the state level legislators. So in the next 2 years, it is equally as important to have the conversation about the presidential election, and then how sometimes we failed ourselves after the presidential election because we don't think about those intermediaries that then trickle down, whether it's mayor, school board, state level elections, um, uh, congressional elections, the off year congressional elections, and Senate elections. All that matters. So let me see. Marky. Hey, Marky, I'm so glad you were with us the other day. Yeah, I'm 47. I remember what happened with Reagan. Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine, and they were kind of like shook a little bit. Like, I remember that. And the chaos that can ensue globally. The chaos that can ensue globally when stuff pop off over here in America, right? Like, and I don't know that trauma. I do not remember. I'm a few years younger than you. I don't remember that. I think the first trauma that I have is the Berlin Wall, the bring the wall down, baby Jessica. Not even being, not even being funny, but for real. Ms. Shar said, I reached out to Eric's mom and discovered that Virginia has a new law in place. It's called JP's Law, allows a person to identify a disability. Thank you for your interest in this issue. Okay, got it. All right. In place. Okay, got it. I remember you talking about that. Great. Thank you for that. Sometime I tell you, so Miss Char, Miss Charlene, that's a great like feedback. She mentioned this Eric law that I believe happened in Maryland, and sometimes we don't have all the pieces until like I get to research. But she did the work. This is how, that's why I say doers get more done. She did all the work out ahead. She did and looked and did all the things, and now we know what we know. We know we end up knowing what we know. Good morning, Miss Roslyn. Good morning. So that's, I mean, nothing high level today. I just genuinely want to see y'all faces in the place when we have our, remember, I'm going to be doing Kicks and Cocktail. I do Kicks and Cocktail coming up. Certified Doers, Summer School for Certified Doers, July 27th. I want to see, I like just want to see you. Like, let's talk, let's like chop it up and nerd out over the thing that matters to you and how we can get it done better. Oftentimes in summer school, what happens is people come to summer school and then they realize the fix that they wanted wasn't even anything in policy related. It was something that they needed to connect with their civic league about, or something that they needed to do, approach their city council person about. It's really been an interesting plight to watch people go through that journey. But on Linktree, LIN link, I want to say tr.ee. It's up there, /Jackie for Norfolk. You can get all the deets. Like I said, the time did change for the pitch contest. It's no longer at 2:00. It's going to be at 1 because of the whole venue stuff that we had going on. But it is an opportunity for you to come and pitch your legislation. And it's a networking opportunity. Tell them, Marty. Listen, my favorite thing in the world, can I just tell you, my favorite thing in the world is to connect people. It is like I've had two people come to an event I had before, and they were like, "We met at one of your other events, and here's what we started working on together, and then started a whole business." And I'm just like, I cannot believe it, but I believe it. I believe it because I know how doers are. And I just want to say for you doers who have been doing, remember, I'm transitioning too. Doers need to delegate, right? Cannot do it all. I simply cannot do it all. I cannot, will not do that all because I'm leaving myself to this place to fail you. But what, as we close out here, I do want you to take a deep breath. Like, if you're feeling right now the weight of what is the culmination of what's happening in our world, it's valid. Like I said, Marky, thank you for sharing. You remember what happened in Reagan, you remember, but there are some real, my ask, can I do this to y'all? Can we do this morning? My ask, my immediate ask is that you do the thing that we got to talk to our first time voters. We have to. Y'all let, like, again, perspective. All right. They were in elementary school when 2016 happened, right? This is and some of them have real trauma. I told you my son woke up crying. Elementary school when 2016 happened. They went through COVID. They witnessed January 6th. They have been in a world where, like, I don't know how, and definitely have dealt their school life. School has never really been a safe place, depending on where they live or just period. There's angst involved with that. Social media has been a part of their lives in a very real way. And if you guys missed our social media live with young people, if you missed that please go back and watch it. It's on all of our stuff, and you'll see that they got boundaries, y'all. They got boundaries with social media. Like, I don't think the perception that we have of young people and social media is very different from the reality. And we all have our issues with them. But anyway, just think about that sort of lived experience and lived trauma that they have going into the voting booth for the first time, and how we need to be better adults of listening and guiding. And this is about picking a team. I'm going to say it to you. People probably going to be like, Jackie, you shouldn't say it. It's not, there's no, there. I'm not excited. I'm not excited about the options. I am determined, however, I am determined not to walk this country backwards. I am determined to continue walking democracy forward, right? And I only see one pathway for that. And I think part of that conversation that we have with young people is, remember, we picking a team here, right? LeBron don't do it by himself. Michael Jordan didn't do it by himself. Like, as a Chicagoan, I know Bill Cartwright, Scottie Pippen, Tony Kukoc, right? Like, that supporting cast, even though Jordan was at, like, doing the daggum thing, it's not, he ain't do it by himself. So for perspective, I think they understand squad up. So let's have a squad up conversation with them. Oh, Miss Charlene. Miss Charlene said, good luck today. Thank you. I'm hoping it's just going to be an in and out. Don't mess about. We gavel in at 2 p.m. today. I'll try to do a little live or something. So I hope that everything goes well. I remember the Kennedy assassination and the angst at 13. Yeah, that's like, say what you want. Like, it puts those things back on the table. And I was listening to a reporter talking about, like, how unprecedented these were, these things that were happening. Marky, I see you. So, like, I remember someone saying it was a reporter, and I was like, no, we had a time where there was a certain faction of people that were emboldened by what they could do. We've had points where political leaders have been assassinated in this country. Let us not forget. Just think of what the rhetoric is doing to walk us back. Kennedy assassinated. Okay, when we talk about people in the political sphere trying to influence policy, Martin Luther King assassinated. Like, that is real trauma for Americans, right? And I think we've moved ourselves forward so much that sometimes the immediate public forgets, or maybe it's the talking heads forget that we were in a country when it was less inclusive, right? This country was much less inclusive, and they was killing presidents, and they was killing political leaderships, and we know who they were, right? But we also knew who they that was on our side to move us forward as women, as people of color, as first new Americans, right? Like all of that, as just people that, because I'm telling you, like this is an us. We are in a tent, and if this tent is going to be big, we got to recognize there's all kinds of folks in this tent. There are people of European descent, African descent, Hispanic, Latina descent, like people of Irish descent, people of continental African descent. Like there are all kinds of people up under this tent, y'all. And there is only one place where those people are being othered if they believe in the collective we and not the selective we. And so I'm going to implore you that we do the conversation about what the collective we looks like, not the selective we, and that we listen to our young people. Can I say this? Look, let me say it again. We're being better adults. We're going to be the better adults than what folks want us to. We're not going to tell them you are to be seen and not heard. We're not going to say do as I say, not as I do. We're going to listen more. We're going to talk less. We're going to be attentive, and we're going to guide them to how we are living with our own lived experiences being Americans, as they live with their own experiences being Americans, and we walk ourselves forward. But for now, we're going to get our butts to Richmond. We're going to see each other at summer school for certified doers on July 27th. You're going to learn this process, and you're going to pull up and pitch. You're going to do the policy pitch contest. I'm so excited to see some of this policy that y'all pitch to us legislators. And then maybe, just maybe, I'll see you at Field Day. Are y'all going to be at Field Day on the 10th of July at Northside Park? All right. So I got to get moving. And Marquis, I didn't know. Marquis, am I going to see you? Marquis, I ain't even going to front with you. I be saying I'm from the Chicagoland area. I grew up formatively in Chicago Heights. I feel like that was my formative years. I was born in the city. We were homeless for a while, so I lived in the city for a little bit, like off and on. My daddy lived in the city, so it's just all my family was in the city. I spent all my time getting on Amtrak going to the city. But I be telling people like, when they say Chicagoland, they be like, "You from Chicago?" I said, "I'm not gonna front. I'm from Chicagoland area. I be in the city, but I grew up." I grew up in Chicago Heights, okay, in Beacon Hill, in the Valley, okay? That's where I became, if you know what I'm talking about. All right. Oh, so glad that you'll be there. All right. Until next time, y'all, I am Jackie Glass, Mama, Navy vet, certified doer, and the laced up legislator for the House of Delegates, 93rd District, doing and being a doer that delegates, because don't kill me, Home Depot. Don't come for me. Doers get more done, right? Don't come for me. Y'all make it a great day. It'll be a blessing to see you in these streets. See ya.